Hi everyone. So in this video series, we'll learn about Python. So everyone knows like Python is a popular programming language, and you can create many applications. Its scope is very large. Like you can do web development, software development, and you can do machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence. So if you learn Python, it's become a generic purpose language. Okay, so you can create whatever you want. So you can create applications, you can create web applications. So you can create models, and deep learning models, machine learning models, and everything is possible with Python. So and also, if you want to go now, the recent trend is like generative AI. So if you want to go in those domains, and you have to know about one programming language majorly, you have to know Python. So that is the only language which will be helpful to so go to this AI space. So um, so in 2024, it's learning Python is obviously it's a very good skill, and also one of the best part is compared to other programming languages, Python is very easy to learn. You don't need to spend hours of time, and you don't need to spend days of time and months of time like that. So compared to other programming like Java, like C sharp or C++, or any other programming language, Python is very easier. And also Python has a very good community, so you can get a lot of support and insights from your peers, so you won't feel stuck. So if you face any issue, then definitely from the community you can get some help and support. So that's why it's Python is a very so lucrative skill. So in this series, I can tell you, so Python, there are different many ways to learn, but here we have to learn Python in a quick way, and at the same time in a effective way. So my mode of approach is like this way. Like, this is W3 schools. It's one of the website where you can get the content related to Python and other languages. And here I just, my preference is like it already structured in a proper way. So uh, so uh, so just I just want to give these topics, like these indexes, and what is this each particular topic and how it's going to be beneficial, and at the end each one how is going to be create an impact. So that is what the end I'm planning to uh, express. And so so let's see with this intro. You simply directly get into this site, like W3 schools and Python. If you search on the internet, you can get this site. Once you go there, this is the index and these things you have to follow. So let's go with the step by step. So in this first page, it contains like what is Python and what you can do and why you need to learn about Python, and what are the IDEs, integrated development environments. Like, so you need some editor to do this code. So what are the editors are available? So the PyCharm is one of my favorite editor in terms of Python development. So there are Anaconda, Jupyter Notebook, and Visual Studio Code is there, and Google Colab books are there. So everything are there. So you have to know, they clearly explain about these topics. And after that, so the next slide is about how to start with Python. So you have to install these things, and I can tell you how to install those Python in your system, and on how to install the editors and etc. I can share one link with you. So from that link, you can get to know like how to install Python or how to install editors. But for the learning purpose, you don't need to install anything. So you have these options, like, so from this for the beginning and for the basic terms, you don't need to install any editor at this moment. But after once you're comfortable with this basic concept, then you can go with this installations and the software and everything. So this is the syntax. Okay, so Python syntax is this, like, so if you want to print something in terms of Java, you'll give something like sys.out println. In that way you have to import sys, and after that from sys dot out println, in that way it'll give some command. But in Python, so you just need to use this function print, and whatever content you put inside, that will be displayed on your console. And next one is like indentation. Indentation means like you have a, in terms of Java, in terms of other programming language, you have a structure like curly braces. You have to give some curly braces, and inside that block you have to give your content. So but in Python you just need to give some indentation. Indentation means space. Here you can see, after giving this condition and you're just giving this, that means this entire line belongs to this particular block. That is the intent of this one. So you can click on this, try it yourself, and it will open this. And 5 is greater than 2, suppose you can modify here also, like it, you can give 3, and 5 is greater than 3. You can run here, so it will display here. C5 is greater than C. In that way, if you want to give this space, then this means it is not in this particular block. So then it will give you then it will give you error. Why? Because this, if you given if condition, you have to mention this thing inside the particular block, but you are moving out of the scope, so then it won't understand. That's why you have to give one tab space. Here your choice, indentations space is your choice. Generally people will recommended to give one tab space, but it's your choice. If you want to give one two character space or four character space, that is nothing but one tab. It's your choice. But ultimately, you have to give some indentation. That is the overall concept behind it. And you can close this, and that's what they mentioned here also, syntax error. If you want to give the indentation space, you'll get some error. So this will also work fine. So here you given just only one character space, and here they given one, I think it's a two tab space, and still it works fine. But you can't give like this. Everything has to be in a particular in particular one order. So for one thing you can give one tab, so you have to maintain the same. So here this is one another, this thing is one block, and this thing is another block. That's why it's executing fine. Next, variables. So we know about variables, like so you assign some value to some thing, so that is nothing but a variable which stores some value. Simply it's a container which stores some value, and it will vary, it will change. So in this case, in general in Python, so you declare the, sorry, in Java you declare the variables in terms of you want an integer, then you clearly mention like int, and you given the variable name, and after that you assign some value to it. But in Python you simply directly take one variable and assign some value to it. In this way you can do, so you don't need to explicitly mention like the data type of that variable. You don't need to do those things. It will do by itself. Yeah. And in case you want to comment it, you have to comment like this. This is the hash symbol, so you have to use to comment this particular thing, so that you can give some comment whenever creating some functions. You have on the top of the function, you have to mention like what is the purpose of that function, how it's going to be useful. So in that case, and also if you want to, in your coding journey, in your in your editor, you want to write some script. So there you just need to um, so mention some points and etc, so that other person can read those content and understand. So then in that case, people generally use this comments. So it's a very good practice. And here you can do some exercise also. Here what they want to say, they want to see the outcome, so just you need to do the print and submit answer. Uh, it will check you correct. So in this way also you can do some exercises here, so it will be a good practice. After finishing this content, you just come here, just done these things, okay? So so this is the way, and after that comments, and you can mention like this also. So this is nothing but comments. But in case like if you want to go with the multiple comments, okay, uh so you can't give for every line like hash hash hash, right? So in that way, what you can do, you can use this multi-line string. It's like three quotes, like three quotes. Whatever content you put inside, it will be the Python editor will understand it as a quote, like it's a comment. So in that way, you can give this multiple lines. Next, about Variables already told you, like it's a container which stores values, and here you can see. So this is the way, these are the ways you can declare the variables, and you can able to print. You can try it yourself, so in case here, if you want to give 3, so here you case you want to give some name, you can run it, and you can get the data like this. That's it. So casting, so type casting is one most important thing in programming, like you can convert one data type to another data type simply through this concept is known as casting, type casting. Majorly 3, by default 3 is an integer, so you want that 3 in a 3 number in a string format. So what you can do is directly you can put str of whatever variable you have. So if you, I mean, value you have, so you can give that, it will convert that into a string. So if you want some, by default it is a int of 3, by default it's a integer, so int of integer it will be in int only. So float, suppose you have a 3 here, you want that number to be in the float format, then in that case you can convert that into float by using this method float. So that's it about these things. And case sensitive, so so you have to remember one thing. So if small a, suppose you've given one variable name as var, all in the small caps, and another, you created another variable that is in the form of capitals. So those are different variables. Those are not belongs to the same. That's the meaning behind it. So that's why it is a case sensitive. Case sensitive means whatever you given in the small letters, that is different. Whatever you given in the capital letters, that is different. So variable names is one of the most important things. So in your programming journey, so you have to give some meaningful names, and it has to make some sense. Otherwise, so you'll get some troubles, like you forget what is the intent behind that variable. So one of the best practices, like you can declare the variable in a such a way so that you can understand. Even though after 1 month you look at your code, and it will make some sense to you. So if you won't given that so something like xyz or something like that, so it doesn't make any sense. So that's why it's better practice is, like you have to mention some. Suppose you are creating one application for the calculator, or let's take calculator, you have to declare like you are creating one method name. So then in that case you can go with the def add. So the name itself indicating you are doing some addition operation there. In the same way, for variables also, you have to give some meaningful names. Like if you think about designing a car, so you can declare one variable as wheels. So you can assign some values to that, so that you can understand, okay, so this is a variable which is which deals with the wheels. So uh, so I hope it will make some sense. There are some syntaxes in the sense, there are some rules you have to follow before declaring a variable. So that is, it has to start with a letter or underscore character. It can't start with a number. Here you can see it is illegal. So you can't declare any variable in the form of a number, I mean in the beginning with a number, okay. So but in the end or in the middle, okay, you can add this number 2 or anywhere, so it's fine. So next, number, I mean the variable has to be in this format, okay. So whatever alphabets and the numbers like 0 9, and at the same time underscore, these are the only things. You can't give any special characters, so this is the issue. Here you can see, if given some special character, it won't work fine. So these things are the basic uh, things. And camel case is there for declaring, initially it will start with a small letter, and after that it go to the capital letter. So that is a camel case. It's your choice at the end. So you want to go with a snake case, like after every word, suppose you are declaring one variable, it has a multiple words in that, and so for each word you have to separate by using this underscore, that is in a snake case. So it's your choice at the end. It's your choice how to use this variable, but your variable should make some sense. So if you declare those things in a meaningful way, it will be helpful for you in the long run. So you can assign, multiple variables in this fashion. X, Y, Z equal to this thing. So if you print this, X will have orange, and Y will have banana, and Z will have cherry. So you can declare like this also. This is a list. We can declare. I mean, we can go through those things in this section. So just to understand, like in this way, you can do assign multiple values. So this normal print function, to whatever you given, so it will print that content. See, in this, suppose you have multiple values in it, so just you want to print that content, you can get the like this fashion also, x plus y plus z, so you can get this thing. You can close this, you can try this one also, you can put commas also. See, here you can see, so x value is python, y value is z, is awesome is z, so that's why. So python is here amazing. Let's run this. Here you can see python is amazing. So that's it, guys. You can do this addition operation here simply. uh, See, now in this case, you may ask this question as that is a string, so that's why you are doing this string concatenation through this plus symbol. It's now it's these are the integers, that's why you it will calculate, it will given the sum as 50. But you can't do string and integer in the same way, so it will give you an error. So either you have to convert these things in a completely in a string, or you have to convert this thing you can't convert into integer. So that's why type compatible error will come. So you have to, in order to do some operations, both the things has to be in the same format. So next, global variables. This is like, see, suppose so global variables and local variables. These are helpful in whenever dealing with functions. Function means you have a block of piece of code which you want to access repetitively. So you can't write the same lines in multiple, so multiple times in the same code. So what you can do, it's a easy format. You can declare one function so that whenever you want that function, you can just simply call that function. So in other programming language also it was there. So mainly the agenda of this function is to reduce the reusable work. So simply it will reduce the reusable work. So in order to instead of writing the same piece of code multiple times, you can simply declare one function. You can define one function, in that you can apply the logic, you can write the logic. Whenever you need to you want to use that logic, you can simply call this function. That is the purpose of this function method. So whatever variables you declare outside of this function, that is a global variables, and whatever variables you declare inside this function, that is a local variables. Here you can see you given one x, that is outside. So you are calling this function, this is a local sorry, global variable, because you declare this variable outside of a function. Here you can see, so this x is a local function. So this one will try this one, so it will make some sense. So x given x variable, you declare one variable outside it has awesome, and they created one function. So what it was doing is like whatever value you have, so it was printing that, and you're calling this function here. So this function will go to this, and it will execute this line. So that's what's happening here. And try this one. So see, this is the main interesting thing. So you are calling one global variable is there, awesome. And in the local variable, this is a local variable. Whatever variables you declare inside a function, those are local variables. You give it as a fantastic, and you're calling this function. So what it will do, so it will call this function, whatever it was there it will execute. So that's why in the on the first go, Python is fantastic. This one is executed, not this one. The second line, so Python is dash plus x. X means this one global will come, because you are not at all going to this inside this function. So in this way, so local variable and global variable will make an impact. So global means it will work throughout the function, but if you declare anything with the same variable which is happening inside the function, it will override that. That's the concept of global and local variables. So here you can do one thing. Okay, so if you want to access the function, inside the function you return something, and you want to access this out of the scope also, then you have to declare this thing with the global keyword. So there are keywords are available like int, float, so str string, and so list those things in the same way. These global and so these variables are available. Those are the keywords. That means, and also one more thing. So in case you are declaring variables, you can't declare those variables in the name of these keywords. because it's already registered as a keyword, so you can't use that keyword because it has a specific purpose, so you can't use it as a variable. Here what they're doing is they're mentioning that variable x as a global, they're giving this x variable has a global scope. So whenever you call this x, it will execute fine even though it is not declared outside of the function. Here you can see, so I didn't given any x outside, but still it was working fine because it will take, because it's a global variable, so this variable has the scope throughout the code. So next you can do this exercise, so next, go to this data types. I already told you, so there are many data types are available. So these are the possible data types which is available in Python. So in case if you want to deal with the text type, text data, then that is nothing but a string. In new numbers, you have integer, float, complex. Complex is a, in mathematics we know about complex numbers, right? Which is a combination of real and imaginary. Suppose 3 plus 2i or 3 plus 2j. So j is a imaginary term, and whatever thing which is assigned before the plus, that is nothing but a real term, so real number. So 3 plus 2j, 3 plus 3i, so that is a complex number. And sequence, suppose you have a set of sequence, it will go in a fashion. So it will go on, have the multiple data. It contains, let's take, you have a multiple contents, you want to store that in a single container. So in those cases, it's a sequence data, right? In those cases you go with these data types: list, tuple, range. Mapping, you have a key and you have a value, then in that case we have to go with the dictionary. And set, bool means like true or false, so binary bytes, and so none. So these are the available built-in data types. So we'll go through it each one in this in the upcoming videos. So here you can see, so you declare directly, you want to see the what is the type of that variable, you can use this function type x, and it will return you the variable data type. Here in this case it's a int. Suppose I given this 5.0, I want to see this, and it will give you float because I given in the terms of points. So 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 yeah, in this way you can give. Here you can see, so the way they're declaring the variables, so this is a string, so in this way you have to declare the string in a double quotes. If you given like this, it's a integer. So if you given like this, it's a float. So it's a complex because it has a zero. So you don't need to give, suppose it's a 1j, it is also complex because 0 plus 1j, it indicates like 0 plus 1j. 0 is a real term, and uh, 1j is a complex term. So complex numbers is a combination of real and imaginary, so j is an imaginary term. So this is a list, this is a sequence, you can see. So in this way you have to declare list in this square braces. It's a tuple, round braces. Range means it will generate the values like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dictionary, as I mentioned, it is a key value pairs. And set, in this way you declare the set. And so boolean is either you declare true or false. So these are the ways you can declare the, data types. Yeah. So suppose you want to set these things, so instead of directly assigning some value to these variables, you want to create, you can also do like this also. So simply you can, assign some data type to this variable, and you can give this thing. So in that way that will work. So we'll go to next. It's numbers. As I mentioned earlier, so we have only three numeric types, where it's int, float, and complex. Int means the values which is assigned numbers, and float means like point decimal. It has a if it has a decimal, then it's nothing but a float. And the complex, as you know, has a both real and imaginary terms. So it might be, see, you can see here, it might be whole number, positive, negative, but it has to be without decimals. Okay, so these are the examples. And these are the floating point numbers, which has to be a decimal, that then it indicates itself as a float. And so scientific numbers also you can give in terms of with the help of e. So this is the way how to declare the complex variables. So j is the part imaginary term, so 3 plus pi is a. So you can get, and type conversion, as I mentioned earlier, you can convert one data type to another data type with the type casting approaches. So here we're converting these values to this. You can just click on the try itself. You can see. So random is a see this is the way you have to use the package. Random is one of the package available in Python. So what it was doing is like it was importing that package and it was giving the values. So just see here. So what it was doing is like from within this range, it will give some random number. So suppose if I given something like 100, so within this 100 range, from 1 to 100, I can get some value. So you see now I got 85. So it will generate randomly. So that's the advantage of see now it has 80. So suppose you are doing some so lucky draw or something. So you want to take something. So simply you can use this random function. I'm just giving the applications you can do with random. So you can simply do this function. You can randomly it will give some value to you. You just need to declare, I mean, define the range from what is the lower limit and what is the upper limit. Within that range, whatever value you want to give, so that will come. So numbers are done, and after that casting, I already told you can convert from one data type to another data type. That is the purpose of casting. Next, these are strings. So strings is one of the most important data type. So we'll see these strings in our next video. I'll cover what are the strings and what are the different. There are many methods are available, like 20 methods are there. So if you know about those, like these uppercase, lowercase in this way, so the methods are available. So it's a very useful thing. So it's a very most important data type. So you have to know about thing in a complete way. So that's it for today, guys, and we'll see in the next tutorial.